Temple University's 1973 football team provided great excitement and many thrills. We're extremely proud of the team's 9-1 record, which was the best ever in the history of Temple University, and is symbolic of the winning tradition established under Coach Wayne Hardin. As an integral part of a great university, we are committed to excellence in our entire program. Here at Temple University, we feel that the future looks extremely bright in view of the new spirit, new attitude. The tradition has been established, and we feel that we're ready for a real challenge.
Wayne Hardin begins his 4th year at Temple. The first 3 have produced winning seasons. Hardin and the fired-up Owls were set to unveil a strong defense and a big play offense in their opener with Xavier. The most promising newcomer was junior quarterback Steve Joachim. Here's a rugged signal caller who could become one of the best in the nation, said Wayne Hardin. But Temple was blessed with amazing depth at quarterback. Senior Marty Ginestra could hop off the bench and ignite a rally. A 39-yard bomb to sophomore Pete Riggy jolted the Musketeers and gave Temple its initial points of a brand new season. Exactly 45 seconds later, Ginestra struck again, 16 yards to Randy Grossman, and the Owl offense was showing its explosiveness. Temple put 28 points on the board in the second period. Ginestra accounted for 3 of the touchdowns, the 3rd on this corner pattern to Mike Blandina. While the Diamond Girl performs at halftime, Temple fans began to realize that this Owl squad had a lot of ammunition in its arsenal. Joachim returned and connected with Blandina. A 5'8" fullback named Nate Hall added some more points. And a junior safety from Brooklyn broke the visitor spirit with a 29-yard interception. Joe Chaffee's determined run helped the Owls win their first season opener under Wayne Hardin, 49-7. For those who believe in ESP, Coach Hardin and Chaffee had a vision this would happen. It was a great start for the young Owls, but a week later, fate frowned on Temple. 7 costly mistakes against tough Boston College led to a disappointing 45-0 defeat in New England. It was a game where 7 turnovers, mostly in the second half, turned a close game into a rout. One bright spot for Temple was the rugged running of junior Henry Hynoski. The Owls' second leading rusher as a sophomore, Hynoski showed that he was ready for an even better season. Hynoski's 128 yards against the massive Boston College defense gave Wayne Hardin some consolation on a day best forgotten. Temple was 1-1, and everybody wondered, could the Owls come back? When Akron's Mac Thomas returned the opening kickoff 97 yards, it looked like a continuation of the previous week. Temple trailed 7-0, and the game was only 14 seconds old. Wayne Hardin wouldn't let his Owls lose confidence. The veteran coach called on quarterback Steve Joachim to get things moving. Number 9 sparked a Temple comeback that could rank with any in the school's history. Joachim scored 3 touchdowns, completed 10 of 14 passes, including this touchdown to former Haverford High School teammate Randy Grossman. Henry Hynoski continued his clutch running with more than 120 yards, playing only 3 quarters. The Owls scored the first 4 times they owned the ball in the second half. Steve Joachim had made his first big mark on Temple football. A 76-yard strike to Mike Blandina was a part of a record-shattering 591 yards total offense for the Owls. While Joachim was a spark plug, it remained for a 5'11", 170-pound senior to grab the major headlines. Tom Sloan, in 17 carries, ran for more yards than any back in Temple's 79 years of football. Sloan slashed and battled for 198 yards, and the Owls proved to everyone that they could come back with a key 47-33 victory over Akron. Holy Cross was next, unbeaten, ranked third in the East, with a wide-open attack, and in number 82, Mark Sheridan, one of the finest receivers Temple would meet in 1973. The Crusaders struck quickly, jumping to a 14-0 lead in the first quarter. A key interception by Dean Steitler proved to be the game's turning point. Marty Ginestra picked apart the Holy Cross secondary, moving the Owls quickly into touchdown territory. Steve Joachim, behind a block by Bob Pascal, scored the first 6 of 63 points that the Owls would score in 3 quarters. It was not all offense. The Owls' go-ahead score was made possible by Joe Chaffee's ball-rattling tackle. That's all Ginestra needed to send Mike Blandina into the end zone. And Temple edged ahead. A scoring parade was just beginning. 3-year starter Tom Sloan shook Holy Cross with a game high of 118 yards. Joachim continued his development as one of the better running quarterbacks in America. Temple was busting a close game wide open. A leather-popping block by Captain Dwight Fulton springs sophomore speedster Bob Meja by the Crusaders for 67 yards. Dave Kinka clears the last obstacle, and the explosive Owls scored 4 touchdowns in 12 minutes. Steve Joachim proved dangerous running or throwing. He hit 7 of 12 passes. 1 to Henry Hynoski that went for 6 points. Hino's feelings about the game were typical of the Owls players.
We had a lot to prove in this game by beating Holy Cross because we lost to Boston College, and last year we lost to Boston University after upsetting West Virginia. So it meant a lot to us, and we just had to prove ourselves up in New England again.
The Owls stunned Holy Cross 63-34, knocking them from the unbeaten ranks. The first meeting ever between Temple and Cincinnati, and for the 3rd week in a row, the Owls had to come from behind. Late in the second period, Steve Joachim found some flaws in the Bearcat defense. He climaxed this drive with a payoff pitch to Henry Hynoski. In a seesaw battle, the Owls turned the momentum to their side with Dynamo Hinos running. Nate Hall took a pitch out and put Temple up 13-12. A Cincinnati field goal bounced the Bearcats on top 15-13. With only a minute and 31 seconds left on the clock, the Owls were 80 yards away from scoring and looked defeated. But Joachim engineered a clutch drive against the clock. It set up a 20-yard field goal by Don Bitterly, the first of his career with only 4 seconds remaining. It won the game 16-15, a game Coach Hardin called the turning point of the season. Band Day at Temple Stadium. More than 3,000 high school musicians came to Temple. Under the direction of Jim Herbert, Temple Director of Bands, this event added a spectacular touch to the Owls' home season. And Wayne Hardin's offense continued on a high note. Hoping to avenge last year's upset defeat by Boston University, Marty Ginestra goes to tight end Denny Engelman. Then to Mike Blandina for first blood. Kevin Grady shows the Terriers that the Owl depth at running back is awesome, both running and receiving a Genestra touchdown strike. Genestra threw 3 touchdowns. Speedy Tom Sloan continued his assault on the Temple record book. As did running mate Henry Hynoski, who climaxed yet another Owl scoring drive. Rushing and receiving, Hynoski is tough, and the Owls demonstrate why their offense is among the nation's leaders in every offensive category. Complementing the offense was a tough defense, held together by the outstanding leadership and play of Captain Dwight Fulton.
Being captain this year was certainly a big responsibility for me, but I believe that it was lessened on my shoulder because of the type of team we had this year. We had a good team that worked together, and it made my responsibility a lot less.
Now listen, babe, listen now. They got a little bit of momentum there. We got to take it right away from them now. They don't score, you understand?
Hit 'em now, hit 'em.
We go at them with our
first down.
defense. We give them attack to you. Let me play.
Arch rival Delaware was next. Fulton sums up the Owls' feelings on the Blue Hens.
Our whole season was directed towards one game, and that was the Delaware game. The fellas were really had their mind set to it. It was I guess it was our 7th game, but the whole season, all we could think about was Delaware.
It was a game that saw the Temple defense led by Dave Shinnick, Rich Tabor, Joe Judge, and number 72 Joe Klecko blossom. Tom Sloan scores behind the blocking of Mike McMurdo, Frank McFillan, and Denny Engelman. The Owls continued to move the ball with a pass from Genestra to Pete Riggy. Don Bitterlich adds 3 points with his 41-yard field goal. Joachim steps up between blocks by Frank McFillan and Dave Myers to combine with Riggy again in the closing minutes of the first half. In the second half, Joachim finds Tony Giles with his strike, and the race for pay dirt is on. In Bobby Bernardo storms in to block this Delaware punt, and with great second effort, force the runner out of bounds. Temple's defense kept Delaware's nationally ranked offense in the hole all day. The Big D of Temple is highlighted by this one-handed Dwight Fulton interception and return. Delaware was no match for Temple on this sunny day in Newark. Henry Hynoski gets the Temple offense rolling again. And Steve Joachim finds the end zone one more time for Temple. The big one is over as Temple crushes Delaware's Blue Hens 31-8. With a 6-1 record, the Owls return for homecoming at Temple Stadium against a strong Rhode Island team with a 5-1 mark. A Joe Chaffee interception gives Temple a score early against the Rams. But the day was special for Tom Sloan, who behind the no-name offensive line exceeded 1,000 yards and broke the all-time Temple rushing record.
I think the no-name line this year was just outstanding. You know, I think that the average weight across the line couldn't have been any more than, I think, 225, 222, something like that. They weren't awfully big, but they had a lot of guts and desire, and they, you know, just wanted to see me gain 1,000 yards and us have a very successful season.
Sloan's determined, deceptive running set the scene for another strong Owl offensive outing with these two scintillating runs deep into Rhode Island territory. Dynamo Hino provides 6 more Owl points while helping Temple gain over 600 offensive yards for the afternoon. Again, Sloan, who gained 171 yards on the day, and Hynoski combined to dominate the Temple turf. Until Joachim goes airborne to Mike Blandina for a scoring strike. Another reason why the Owls ended up 6th in the nation in total offense. Joachim then teams with third-team All-America Randy Grossman as the Owl aerial assault continues. Temple's defense was again spectacular, shutting off this late Rhode Island surge to gain a well-deserved shutout. Time runs out, and the Owls convincingly thrashed the Rams and increased their record to 7-1. The 43 points helped to rank the Owls 9th in scoring in the NCAA, averaging 35.3 points per game. Next stop on the Owl agenda was Des Moines, Iowa, home of the Drake Bulldogs. The Bulldogs dominated the first half, and the defense again changed the momentum with this interception by Dwight Fulton. And Steve Joachim, behind the no-name line, put the Owls ahead. Randy Grossman takes a Joachim pass and, aided by bone-crushing blocks by Tom Sloan and Pete Riggy, gets deep into Drake territory again. Dynamo Hino finds the end zone, and the Owls are off and running with their high-powered offense. Joachim and Grossman make pass plays like these look easy, with a tight end showing that he can run with the ball as well as catch it. Big number 9 then hits Tony Giles with another Temple touchdown to increase their lead. The Owls then return to the ground, with Sloan setting the stage. And Henry Hynoski scoring another touchdown to give Temple a come-from-behind 35-10 victory. Coach Hardin was to give credit to the no-name line, led by senior guard Pat McLaughlin this day. Only Villanova was left on the schedule. A win here would give Temple their best record ever.
This game really especially means a lot to me because I'm from the main line, and Villanova being a mainline school, I'm familiar with a lot of the people out there. And Randy Grossman and I were really looking forward to playing against Villanova this year.
An 8-1 record is impressive, but all records must be thrown out when Temple and Villanova meet for the Quaker City Trophy. In this intense rivalry, the unusual can, and usually does, happen. This time, much to the displeasure of the Villanova coaches. The final Temple appearance of Randy Grossman, except for a stint in the North-South Shrine game, was spectacular. Tom Sloan also closed out his collegiate career in a blaze of glory. But the story of the game was Joachim de Grossman, and this dynamic duo was not to be denied. Randy showed why Wayne Hardin called him the best tight end in the country. That's tall talk when you consider that Hardin coached Maxwell Award-winning tight end Greg Mather at Navy. Villanova's Bill Hattie was frustrated by 6 interceptions, this one by Dean Steitler. Tight end Denny Engelman rounded out an outstanding career at Temple, showing that he too can make the big play. Mr. Steady, Nate Hall, completes this drive, and again it's a Temple romp. An outstanding freshman, tackle Joe Klecko, recovers one of 4 fumbles made by Villanova. Sophomore halfback Kevin Grady almost scores on a brilliant run, showing great effort. Grady gets his 6 points by bowling over guard for a Temple touchdown, giving the Owls a season total of 353 points, a club record. 1973 is now history, and 1974 looks very promising.
We have a lot of players returning, and we can definitely look forward to a great year next year with Henry Hynowski returning and guys like Pete Riggy and Jeff Stemple and Arnell Anthony at the receivers. I think the future looks real bright for the offense.
Again leading the Owl attack in 1974 will be signal caller Steve Joachim. Outstanding at leading the Veer offense, Joachim's senior season should establish him as one of America's premier all-around quarterbacks. Joachim, a threat running and passing, is a true All-American candidate. Receiver Jeff Stemple returns for his junior season and will be complemented by flanker Pete Riggy. Receiver Arnell Anthony is another returning target for Joachim, as the 1974 Owls have a strong pass offense. On the ground, Henry Hynowski will be completing his collegiate career. A proven runner, Dynamo Hino is a threat to match Tom Sloan's 1,000-yard-plus year. A triple threat, Hynowski is a dangerous runner, passer, and receiver in the Owl attack. Running back Kevin Grady will attempt to improve on a strong sophomore season and will be riding on a hard-earned reputation as a punishing runner. Defensively, Temple returns players such as number 74, Dave Shinnick. Shinnick is another Owl with a chance at national recognition. Linebackers Rich Tabor, Bill Crothamel, and rangy Gary Webb are figured on prominently in 1974. Gigantic tackle Joe Judge lived up to his press clippings and will return to help the Owls. The pros are already drooling over the size, strength, and agility of Big Joe. Joe Klecko enters his sophomore year as a tested veteran of the trenches. A devastating tackler, Klecko rates watching in 1974. Defensive back Bob Mejia crashed the starting lineup as a sophomore with plays like this. Mejia's return is heightened by the return of gutty defensive back Joe Chaffee, who has as much determination as he does ability. Back Dean Steitler had a fine season and is being counted on for a fine senior year for Temple. The return of these and many other top players gives Wayne Hardin reason for optimism.
Naturally, we're pleased with the 1973 season, a 9-1 record, and the best record in the history of Temple. But I think the whole story can be summed up in the national stats. We were the only team in the United States to rank in the top 20 in all 4 offensive categories: total offense, rushing offense, pass offense, and scoring. As you've seen by the film, our defense came along in the last 5 games. We only gave up 33 points and had 2 shutouts. And we led the nation with 26 interceptions. 1973 is history. We're looking forward to 1974. We had an undefeated sub-varsity team. We have many returning lettermen. We are looking forward to an outstanding recruiting season. We're going to miss the boys that made 1973 great, but we're looking forward to the future with the upgrading in schedule, and we now feel we are ready for the challenge.
4 years of winning Temple football has breeded the success that has followed Wayne Hardin throughout his career. The Temple Owls have arrived as a football team that has matured in the eyes of discerning football fans. The Temple Owls are entering an era that will see them play the best nationally rated collegiate teams in the country. Teams that are regularly seen in the national rankings and the postseason bowl games. An era that will see the Owls playing games at beautiful Veterans Stadium. The Temple Owls have arrived. They are ready for the challenge.
We've been here at the Cherry Hill Inn for about a week now and getting ready for the 1974 football season. We reminisce and think about the 1973 season, realizing that 9-1 and the best record in the history of Temple was a great one. However, the future is ahead of us. We lost some players, we gained some players. We had a good recruiting season, we've had some good workouts here, and we're looking forward to 1974.
The Owls have defeated the University of Rhode Island 9 consecutive times and are determined to make it 10. The Temple offense quickly takes charge. The tactical swing pass is complemented by the dazzle of the bomb. Number 9, Steve Joachim hits his tight end, Jeff Stemple, for 37 yards and a touchdown. The versatile Stemple will buy 84 yards in a big afternoon. Off the play action, Joachim hits junior acrobat and flanker Pete Riggy. With a Temple 37-7 victory over Rhode Island, Steve Joachim surges into the vanguard of NCAA total offense and a slot in the ECAC team. Only Notre Dame and Oklahoma have a longer current winning streak. When Boston College came to town, Temple had plenty of motivation. Last year's shutout stung the Temple pride and is fresh in the memory. Moreover, a victory today would top Temple's all-time winning streak. Dave Shinnick, number 74, quickly takes the measure of the BC passer. Junior Joe Techlitz maintains the pressure. Plecko, Techlitz, Shinnick are the names that helped hold Boston College to a meager 173 yards, created many fourth downs and offensive opportunities. Number 46, Bob Harris, cuts down the Boston charge, giving Joachim time to find Jeff Stemple through the needle's eye for a touchdown. "200 yards plus would be accrued in the air. 200 plus would be added on the ground. Temple's offense is perfectly balanced, a Wayne Hardin trademark. Sophomore Bobby Harris explodes to the right side to end the first quarter 14-0. The second quarter is a repeat of the Joachim Stemple act. The rangy receiver pulls in his second six-pointer. Stemple's offensive effort would only be eclipsed by that of Henry Hynoski. The 215-pound fullback is a patented fullback, blood and guts. Hino is tough. He can smell the extra yard. Running and catching, number 27 racked up 183 yards of the 441 total Temple output. It was just enough to take the sting out of last year's defeat. The final, Boston College 7, the Owls 34, 10 victories in a row. Temple now leads the polls for the Lambert Trophy. Joachim leads the nation in total offense. He is a pure passer with the instinct of an ICBM for its target, a talent that would earn him postseason All-American honors. Moreover, he is a competitor, has the drive and desire to turn stalemates into gain. Wayne Hardin's triple option offense will transform Joachim's All-America potential into All-America credentials. Steve explains the mechanics of the attack.
I've called triple option right. This is the kind of play that a quarterback must make 3 quick decisions in a matter of seconds. Set! 2! I immediately try and pick up the defensive end, number 66. If he widens, I give the ball to the fullback, which is the first part of the option. If the defensive end commits himself and comes down and tackles the dive back, I pull the ball back and bounce around and turn upfield to the next man outside. When I reach this point, the defensive cornerback goes after the pitch man. I keep the ball myself and turn upfield and run. If he commits himself and comes after me, I pitch the ball, and that completes the triple option.
The system will accumulate dazzling statistics. Against Marshall University, it would be stunningly effective. On the year, Joachim would lead the nation in total offense, 29 touchdowns, 9 rushing. With the ground game established, the air lanes open up. Sophomore Dave Roedier makes the catch. The receiving corps is both deep and versatile. The extraordinary is usual, the spectacular expected. There is no better corps of receivers. Football is a team game. Everyone must do their job. The offensive line certainly does. Dave Myers, right tackle. Pat Staub, right guard. Mark Brazani, center. Mike McMurdo, left guard. And Jeff Fry, left tackle, give Joachim the time and protection to pick up Stemple for a pass-run combination that covers 43 yards. Stemple shows typical Temple determination. All that remained was for the defense to seal this victory. Joe Chaffee shuts off Marshall and underscores a convincing 31-10 Temple margin. Joe Chaffee is the captain of the 1974 Temple Football Club. He is a steady 110% output player. He doesn't make mistakes. NCAA kick-scoring leader Don Bitterlich puts the ball in play against Southern Illinois. Converted quarterback Mark Oss cancels the return with a perfect tackle. The keynote of the day is pressure defense. Lou Caesar intercepts. Rich Dawiak intercepts. And Dan Faulkner intercepts. This kind of effort won Dan the Most Improved Player award. It would be a long afternoon for the Salukis. The Owls have depth. Number 44, Jeff Marshman, would pick up 124 yards and lead all rushers for the game. Each previous week, Steve Joachim has represented Temple on the ECAC composite team. Receivers like Bob Harris make it possible. Harris's quicksilver fast speed, coupled with 198 pounds, add up to 149 yards receiving and rushing for the day. The Delaware Valley produces excellent athletes. It is a Temple tradition to keep the local athletes. Bob Harris is a New Jersey product who is transferred home. It's a happy reunion. The total Temple offensive output will shatter the school mark, 622 yards, 460 of which come on the ground. For today, statistically, the passing game took second place. When the Owls did go to it, it was a flashy show. Pete Riggy is one of a host of receivers who enjoy doing his thing. With 44 points on the board, Coach Hardin looks at his quarterback depth. Bill Islinger engineers the TD via Jerry Conicello. At the other end of the field, Dick Bettison calls on Kevin Grady. There promises to be great depth at quarterback in 1975. The final score, Temple 59, Southern Illinois 16. Holy Cross and homecoming. An undefeated Temple is 11 in a row over 2 seasons. Joachim continues to lead the nation in offense. Don Bitterlich is leading the nation in kick scoring. Less noticed but of paramount importance is the fact that Temple is 11th in defense and quickly shows why. Number 72, sophomore nose guard Joe Klecko is a legitimate All-America candidate. Week by week, Klecko turns in standout performances. He has consistent help from scholar athlete Charlie Leon, number 90. And eventually from junior linebacker Doug Brown. It is a team defense, team pressure, and the result is Temple's ball. On the other hand, Steve Joachim dealt with the Crusader pressure coolly. He would have bigger days statistically, but not classier showings. Jeff Stemple neatly beats his man. The ball is right there. Critics have claimed Joachim will lose his poise under pressure. Joachim to Stemple, touchdown. Critics have said Joachim can be rattled under pressure. Joachim to Riggy, pinpoint touchdown. Joachim completed 80% of his passes against Holy Cross. Joachim to Callan, touchdown. Every third time Joachim put the ball up, it was a touchdown. Joachim would go on to win the Maxwell Award for the '74 season, an award honoring the outstanding player in the country. One convincing argument. The season is at the halfway point. The Owls are 5-0 on top of a 13-game winning streak. It is a football program that is in high gear, a program that embraces boosters and band. In fact, a spectacular band of 170 under the direction of Jim Herbert. Temple will play out the remaining home games and all 1975 home games at the Vet. The stretch will severely test the Owls. For now, they are number 1 in the Lambert poll, number 2 total offense, number 3 in scoring. It's a tradition. The elements of Temple football tradition might be defined in terms of history. The good fight fought, victories won, but it is more than fans and bands, Subway alumni, do or die. It is a view to the future, an eye to constantly upgrade, but for now, Delaware. An early turnover makes it 3rd and 7 at the Temple 7. Delaware is passing for an early lead. Junior defensive back Bob Misha shows good form and frustrates the Blue Hen drive. Extraordinary defensive efforts would be the rule for this day. The deficit brings out Temple's poised, competitive instinct. The Owls storm back with fine protection. Joachim lofts the bomb to Pete Riggy, who makes a circus catch at the 2. Bob Harris slides over left tackle for the go-ahead score. A different angle shows the mechanics of the score. Left tackle number 76, Jeff Fry, takes the outside charge inside, giving Harris the room he needs. In the second quarter, Temple togetherness is dramatized. All-America honorable mention Henry Hynoski flares into the flat. It's a good play, but even the best get anxious. You have to have the ball before you can run. 3rd and goal. Coach Hardin knows the play will work, knows that Hino won't miss twice. It's faith. It's togetherness. It's poise. It's 6 points. It's Temple football. The Blue Hens are the same team that went to the Division II championship. Tubby Raymond's wing T is a polished, efficient system. Delaware fights back, turns the tables. Delaware 17, Temple 14. The fourth quarter is a test of character, and Temple will pass. Jeff Stemple makes a truly spectacular catch, a game breaker. The extraordinary is ordinary. Game in, game out, Temple receivers come up with clutch catches. There is a section in the receiver's playbook right after pass routes entitled Impossible Catches. It is required reading. Temple 21, Delaware 17. Temple committed 7 turnovers. The victory is a testimony to the defense and a game-breaking play. More solid execution will be necessary next week in Cincinnati if the Owls are to maintain their 14-game winning streak. Coach Hardin has put his faith in solid preparation. At the outset, it is rewarded. Maxwell Award winner and blue-gray captain Steve Joachim is running the triple option. Read the defensive end, read the cornerback. If you do it correctly, you have a 23-yard touchdown. Temple 7, Cincinnati nothing. The game plan would soon take a back seat to the nature of the football itself. It becomes a case of catching the wind. This impromptu advance sets up a short yardage situation for Cincinnati. A missed PAT leaves Temple in the lead 7-6. In the second and early in the third quarters, Temple and Don Bitterlich react to the mounting pressure. The ex-soccer player wins an exchange of field goals 2-1. Temple leads 13-9. An interception gives Cincinnati the ball and the Temple 1 and a 16-13 advantage. At the change of quarters, the Owls' offense is unable to click. Cincinnati is pressing. Despite 3 turnovers inside the Temple 20, the defense under Captain Joe Chaffee hold, giving up only the 3-pointer. This kind of defense caused the Owls to be ranked 12th in the nation. "79 yards and 4 minutes later, Henry Hynoski, the pride of Mount Carmel, muscles to the go-ahead score, 20-19. Two minutes to play. Cincinnati's bouncing ball offense takes over. Temple needs a break, and it's there. The moment passes. Cincinnati not only retains possession, but picks up 6 yards and the all-important first down. Last year, the Owls beat Cincinnati with a field goal with 4 seconds remaining. This year, the tables are turned. A jubilant bench exploded onto the field and order becomes confusion. 10 seconds remain. For the second week in a row, Temple committed 7 turnovers, too many for winning football. And so the longest winning streak in Temple's history has come to an end. Bigger opportunities are ahead. November 9, Pitt Stadium. 43,000 would be watching closely. Lambert Trophy supremacy is at stake. Today's contest would be primitive, punitive, block and tackle, old-fashioned football to delight the purists. Junior halfback Kevin Grady has found his stride. He has the speed to turn the corner and the power to probe the middle. Left guard, number 62, Mike McMurdo, has a special incentive today. His dad was a Panther All-American, and he's making an All-American effort himself. Blast blocking, pass protecting. The game plan is one of patience, swings and flares to balance the ground attack, and it's working. Hino muscles into a clutch of defenders for a first down. Now the triple option to perfection. Pitt's defensive end, number 60, pinches down the dive man. The trailer has frozen the cornerback, and Joachim bounces through for 6 points. In the second quarter, Pitt flashes its own offensive wares. Head coach Johnny Majors has accumulated a wealth of super quick setbacks who can parlay a crease of daylight into a big game. Racing the clock to halftime, Temple drives 77 yards for this Bitterlich field goal. The Owls go into the locker room leading 10-7. In the opening minutes of the second half, Pitt is driving. The situation is 3rd and 10, a critical play. A super effort seesaws the score back to Pitt's favor. The two teams battled up and down the field. 2nd and goal at the Pitt 5. Again, the triple option. Hynoski takes the pitch and slams across the goal line. The durable fullback has not missed a game in 2 years. The opening minutes of the fourth quarter see the pendulum pattern continue. 18-year-old Elliott Walker demonstrates a distinctly mature effort. From Dan Faulkner's point of view, the effort is just as remarkable. It's super football in a super exciting game. College football at its best. With 8 minutes gone in the fourth quarter, Henry Hynoski records his second TD of the afternoon and captures the lead once again, 24-21. Then the pattern is broken. A disastrous lapse occurs. Off a counter play, the Pitt wingback explodes over the right side for 41 yards. With first and goal at the Temple 1, a miracle is needed. It won't be forthcoming. Elliott Walker scores another of his 4 TDs of the afternoon. A creditable job of backing up All-American Tony Dorsett. Pitt will go on to record an insurance score, and for the first time in 2 years, the Owls have suffered back-to-back losses. From the cauldron of defeat, a stronger metal will be forged. A greater desire to win, an imperative to win. A defeat in Morgantown would mean an unprecedented 3-game losing scheme for Coach Hardin. West Virginia is the final leg in a 3-week road trip. The Owls will attack with a methodical vengeance. Superior athletes will accept defeat, chew it up, and spit it out. Pete Riggy demonstrates that extra effort. Henry Hynoski rips up the middle, keeping West Virginia off balance. The play selection is brilliant. Joachim's skilled, smooth ball handling buys time, and it's another Riggy acrobatic catch at the goal. With the quarter change, Hino finishes the first period business. Then it's Riggy again with a fine catch and the unusual opportunity to advance the ball. Defenders, as a rule, stick closely to Riggy. Temple is a marvelously well-disciplined team. The line throws up a perfect seal. Joachim targets P.J. Callan, who makes a basketball catch. Temple is in complete charge. Persani, Staub, and Myers are knocking people down, while all East Henry Hynoski is racking up yardage. Bob Harris takes the pitch. Note the Pat Staub block at the top of the screen and powers to the 2. Joachim caps the scoring in a classic game. The touchdown scored all came off drives greater than 70 yards. Temple 35, West Virginia 21. Veterans Stadium, the Quaker City trophy's at stake, and the Owls have a new winning streak going. You have to start someplace, and Villanova could make it 2 in a row. Excitement cascades through the vet. In contrast, the Temple bench is a study in care, analysis.
We're better off wide with 18 or 38, or we're better off 36. We're better off what? We can get outside, we can get off tackle. Nothing's changed.
Kevin Grady does get outside and does, in fact, make changes. 16 yards worth. On 3rd and long, Coach Hardin calls a percentage play, ensuring both angle and range for the field goal. Don Bitterlich continues his very real assault on all Temple kicking records. Owls 3, Villanova nothing.
They're going to start running them delays a lot more. Yeah. Probably so. You got to watch. Can't run on us.
Cat rush came last time and got him. If they got any smarts, they're going to throw a screen to the right-hand side. So just tell the outside guys to look for the screen.
It's not exactly a screen, but the timing and point of attack are similar. The defense is there. On the next Owl possession, Steve Joachim has excellent protection. Pete Riggy outfights the defender. Great effort, great catch, and it's a matter of fact. The score, 10-0.
Coming here, I had all day to throw. When they're blitzing, they give up everything, and then when they drop off, they have no pass rush. It's good.
Go defense! Go defense! Go defense! Go defense! Go defense!
Left guard can't handle Klecko.
Neither could the center, nor for that matter, many offensive linemen. Klecko's range and quickness will anchor the Temple defense in 1975. A defense that will give the O plenty of opportunities. Henry Hynoski is a well-rounded athlete. During the season, he would prove his worth both receiving and rushing. Sideline to sideline, goal line to goal line, the Temple offense is wide open. The competition is stiff, and occasionally there is a fourth down situation. Against the Wildcats, the punt turned into a nightmare. The half ended with an uncomfortably narrow margin. Temple 10, Villanova 7. The Owls won't give in to adversity. Coach Hardin methodically analyzes the Villanova defense.
And she's not getting out there fast.
Oh, I don't know if you're...
Coach Hardin goes to his bread and butter, Henry Hynoski. With this fine effort, Hino broke the 1,000-yard barrier. His season total is 1,006 yards. A fine way to end a collegiate career. All that remains is to parlay the personal triumph into a team triumph.
They man-to-man down there?
Yeah, man-to-man. Come on, Mark.
The Joachim to Callan pass adds up to another win. The clock counts down the game and the season. The final score of the 1974 campaign is 8-2, and the start of new and heavier competition. Boston College, West Virginia, Pitt will be in the schedule. So will Penn State. Coach Hardin, Joachim, Callan, Hynoski, and Dave Myers will go to postseason all-star games. Heine will be elected MVP on offense at the American Bowl. Joachim will win the Maxwell Award, and along with his coach will be honored by Mayor Rizzo. The maturing Pat Staub will tie down the offensive line in 75. Condition, strength, and Temple attitude will win the line of scrimmage, blow defenders back. 1,000-yarder Hino will be gone. Mirror image, Kevin Grady is ready for his own 1,000-yard assault. Outside speed is guaranteed by Bob Harris, who seemed to have found his strength in 74. There is a hard-cutting edge in the velvet smooth stride. Pete Riggy will be making the wealth of young quarterbacks look good with his sure-handed catches. The reliable Jeff Stemple will be there to keep the defenses honest, preclude the double team. Stemple and Riggy will be making quarterbacks look good. Defensive tackle Joe Klecko will be making them look bad. The 6'4", 260-pound sophomore was honorable mention All-American in 74. Next year, his stock is sure to go up. The deep secondary will be studied by Bob Misha. Misha led Temple to a #1 ranking in pass interception percentage. And all the while, footballs will be flying off the foot of kick-scoring leader Don Bitterlich, who was a sure shot for national honors. 1974 was a year of reward for Temple football. Temple gained the nucleus of a competitive, exciting football team. Steve Joachim won the Maxwell Award. Coach Hardin was designated District 2 Coach of the Year. Ernie Casal saw the fruits of his invested faith. The 5 Hardin years have founded a winning tradition. Coach Hardin says farewell to his players.
It's all over now. Now you can relax. An 8-2 season is a hell of a year, man. And 17-3 in 2 years is even better. And the guys that are coming back, you got a hell of a tradition to carry on. So if you're going to keep up with that, that means you can take about 1 day off and start getting ready for next year.
Three cheers for the coach!
Let's take time, man. Let's take time.